guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome to the Colorado Rockies as we transition from Season 3 into Season 4. We dust ourselves off after that nightmarish wild card game. It was the most predictable thing ever, wasn't it? But like Citizen Nev said in the Discord, at least we know where we need to improve now. And based off of that game, it's players that don't choke. We didn't hit, we didn't pitch particularly well, and we've got a big off-season now is we've got to try and make sure we come back better for next year. Now, my initial plans here are, I don't think we need to change too much with the lineup. Now, we know that Vazquez is up at the end of the year, his contract. We need to try, I think, as a priority, try and make sure we get him back. He's a clubhouse leader as well. We don't want to pay over the top for him, but I do think he is someone we want to try and keep. And then we've got to look at the pitching. Now, I don't exactly know what to do here. Robbie Ray is, he's still got a few more years left yet, so I think we do need to, he's obviously going to be in there for us. Marquez, I haven't decided what to do with him. He's a free agent at the end of 2 years' time, so yeah, I don't think we can't rely on him. That's, I think, what we've learned. Look at this. He's pitched not that many games, so I don't think we can rely on Marquez. Conine was relatively good for us, 30 starts, ERA of just over 4. So I think maybe he's someone that we look to go with. The thing we got to remember is a lot of our pitchers are young, and is there a way to see the age here? Default. Is that going to bring up the ages? There it is there. So you can see our pitching staff in general are very young. Oberg's the only one, and I think he's up at the end of this year anyway. He's a free agent. No, end of next season, he's a free agent. So, we do have a young pitching staff that in theory could still get better. So I don't want to go and do a complete panic rebuild here. But that is kind of, it's the weakness, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is the weakness. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting off-season, that's for sure. But before any of that, we do, of course, have to get off to our end-of-season awards. So we'll go off and do that. Then when we come back, we will find out who has won the World Series. And, well, I don't know if I want it to be the Braves so we can say that we were the second-best team, or if I just want them to get absolutely spanked to pieces by the Dodgers. And then at least we can say that, haha, that's what you get. Anyway, guys, enjoy the end-of-season awards, and I'll see you on the other side of those. And we'll find out who the World Series champions are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Colorado Rockies End of Season Awards! Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Oh, wow. Too kind. Too kind. Thank you so much. Well, thank you and welcome to the End of Season Awards for the Colorado Rockies for the 2022 season. And, what can you say? Let's not get hung up on how it ended. Which was obviously a massive disappointment. We won over 100 games of baseball this season, and that is a magnificent achievement. The players excelled, they outdid themselves, and we're not going to let one bad day ruin that achievement. So congratulations, guys. We'll begin the evening with a big round of applause. You were brilliant this year. You really, really were. So let's get to giving out some awards, though. The first award this season is for the pitcher with the most wins, and this guy, well, I'm sorry. One start too many. He injured himself. But 13 wins. The award goes to Robbie Ray. Next up, it is the award for the highest batting average. And this guy, again, excelled this season. Not quite the same heights that he hit last season, but still a very, very impressive batting average. 3-3-3. The winner is David Dahl. The next award is the Golden Bullseye, awarded to the player who has been hit most by pitchers. You will get, of course, the bruisers, and then you get this wonderful trophy here as well to commemorate those bruisers. And with 11 times struck by a pitcher, the winner is Brendan Rodgers. The next award is the Golden Anchor, awarded to that most annoying of hitters, the man who drags the team down by hitting into the most double plays. Very, very competitive this season, but one man stood out above the rest with 18 double plays hit into. The Golden Anchor goes to Evan White. The next award is the Golden Boot, awarded to the pitcher who has issued the most walks. And, well, this year, this guy, to be honest, not a bad tally. I'm relatively okay with it. 85 walks issued. And, well, the Golden Boot goes to Robbie Ray. The next award is the Golden Glasses, awarded to the batter who struggles to see the ball, the man with the most strikeouts. And, well, the winner this year, it was a magnificent achievement. He set a club record of 223 strikeouts. The Golden Glasses go to Javier Baez. The next award is the Golden K, awarded to the pitcher with the most strikeouts. And again, it was a fantastic achievement by the winner this year. He too set a club record of 261 strikeouts. This time it was a good thing though. And it's okay, Baez, you did really well as well. But the winner of the Golden K is, of course, that man, Robbie Ray. The next award is the Golden Broom, awarded to that man who sweeps clean the bases, the man with the most RBIs. And, well, this guy was very impressive at times this year. 124 RBIs. He doesn't just strike out. It's Javier Baez. The next award is for the pitcher with the best ERA. And the winner this year, I've got to say, at the start of the season, I wasn't sure if he was part of my plans, but he came in, he was sensational throughout the second half of the season in particular, with an ERA of 2.57 even. The winner is the closer, Tommy Doyle. The next award is for the most home runs hit. And, well, this guy was, as again, impressive this year. 42 home runs. When he does hit them, they certainly stay hit. Well done, Javier Baez. The next award is the Horse's Ass for this season's worst player. And, well, the award this year goes to someone who wasn't so much bad, but broke a promise to me that really couldn't afford to be broken. So for injuring himself yet again, the Horse's Ass this season is Herman Marquez. And now it is time to acknowledge this season's best pitcher. Now, as ever, there is a formula we use to determine this. That, along with a list of all tonight's winners, is down in the description of the video. But in third place with a score of 28.24, it is reliever Frumba Valdez. In second place with a score of 34.63, it is that man again, Tommy Doyle. But the winner and this season's best pitcher with a score of 41.57, it is, of course, that man again, Robbie Ray. And now it is time to acknowledge the batters with this season's Best Batter Award. And again, there is a formula we use to determine this. And again, it is down in the description of this video. In third place with a score of 65.2, it is David Dahl. In second place with a score of 79.37, it is first baseman Evan White. But the winner, only just with a score of 80.73, it is your National League Rookie of the Year, surely. It is third baseman Nolan Who. It's Ryder Jones. And now it is time for the big award of the evening. It is time to award the Golden Star for this season's Player of the Season. And it was a tough decision, especially, the bats this season were, to be honest, they were a thing of dreams, weren't they? But I just feel like the man who wins this just surprised me. Really surprised me. Led or was up in the top 3 of most batting categories. And anyone that can make us forget all about Nolan Arenado, well, he deserves a trophy for that alone. So the Golden All-Star this year for Rookie of the Year is, of course, Ryder Jones. So there we go. Congratulations to Ryder Jones and the rest of the winners this evening. It has been a memorable season to be a Rockies fan. And next season we want to make sure that we're going a little bit further and actually playing some baseball in October and not just assuming that we're on holidays, because that's usually what happens with the Rockies. But I want to thank everybody in the auditorium for coming out this evening. Thank everybody watching at home for the support this season. And we will be back next season, bigger, better than ever, I am sure, for another great year of Rockies baseball. But before we go, if the players could just please meet me at the back, we're going to have a Heimlich maneuver session just to make sure that there's no more choking at this club next season. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. Alright, so end of season awards done for the year, and well, let me know what you think. I just think Ryder Jones had to be player of the year. He was spectacular for a rookie season, and he's got to be a chance at rookie of the year. Now, as for the playoffs, we can feel a little bit better about ourselves, I think, because the Braves went on. They swept the Dodgers, went to Game 6 against the Mets, and they swept the World Series. So the Atlanta Braves, unfortunately for us, were just a team we ran into at the wrong time, it would appear. So, yeah, I don't think maybe we're not as bad as it felt like we were last episode, because they did the same thing to the Dodgers they did to us. So there we go. That is, I'm not quite sure exactly what sort of scorelines they were running up. Let's have a quick look at that maybe. So they beat the Dodgers, closer games. Look at that, the Mets were 2 up, and then they ended up coming back and essentially sweeping them as well before sweeping the World Series. So we definitely got the biggest hiding. But we weren't the only team to fall to the Braves this postseason. So as I said, maybe not as bad as we initially thought. But there we go. Now, there is some news to catch you up on. And the big news is that we have re-signed Vazquez. We've ended up just going a little bit longer than ideally would have liked. So a 6-year deal for a 32-year-old is not exactly what I would have wanted to do. But he should be a good defensive catcher. This side of his game shouldn't change too much, I hope, anyway. Clubhouse leader. So, yeah, hopefully we're not going to be stuck with these $14 million for too long. But even if it's just 5 years, and yeah, we needed to keep him. And I think it's just about worth that risk. So that has happened. And we have also made a trade. So in this trade, we have given up Ryan McMahon. Now, the reason we've done that, basically, is because, I mean, he not that he was a bad player for us at all, but he was very much sort of a rotation or a utility player for us. Now, Velarde has come in, and he can essentially do that same role. And then we have Ryder Jones who can cover first base for us. So I felt like we didn't necessarily need him, so I thought I'd ship him around and see what we could get. And what we could get is hopefully a very solid starter. Now, Jack Patterson, I'm fairly certain we had him at the Blue Jays as well. So we could get him in. He's a starter. He's a ground ball pitcher. I'm hoping he's somebody that will sort of that number 4-5 slot in the rotation come in and fill that for us. And, sort of worst case scenario, he's just an option. He's played a little bit of Major League Baseball and done okay in the past. So, yeah, he's going to come in and hopefully, we need all the starting pitchers we can get. So, that has happened, and that is the trade that we have done. Now, the next thing, the catch-up was going to happen, I think, is that it was going to be the Major League Baseball Awards. And, well, as I said, Ryder Jones has got to be a chance, among other things, of Rookie of the Year. And then we're going to have arbitration as well. So we'll come back for that when it happens. All right, we have some decisions to make before we get to anything else. And, well, there's 2. One of them I know what we're going to do. The first one, though, is Scott Oberg. $8 million he's on next year. We do have a team option to void his contract for no cost. And I think we're going to do it. Basically, $8 million is a lot of money for a relief pitcher. And he's not been particularly fantastic. He's not, if you look at the pitching stats, he's not particularly stood out more so than anybody else. Now, one thing, obviously, ERA is something we can look at, and that wasn't great. But another thing is FIP. Now, FIP is something I've been told to look at. And if we look at his FIP compared to the other pitchers in the bullpen, it's sort of comparable. And I think what we're going to need as much money as we can to try and get in a starter. And I think that Scott Oberg is someone that is going to be expendable, isn't he? I don't think his attributes are quite matching up to his ability right now. So I do think we are going to void that last year of his contract. So that'll free up $8 million. And the other one here is Polanco. Now, Polanco is on $13.5 million. We have, the emergence of Sergilio, as much as anything else, just basically makes him null and void, doesn't it? We don't need him, and that is a big, big chunk of change that we free up there as well. the new season goals here. Let's have a quick look here. He'd secretly hoped the team would make the playoffs, but certainly didn't expect what we did. I mean, it was absolutely stunning. We increased the attendance. We increased the profit. I mean, the draft record is something that we will, we do have players coming through, and I'll show you who in just a second. And so for next year, we want to reach the playoffs. We've unfortunately made a rod for our own back for there, haven't we? Improve the team's bullpen ERA. That's obviously something we want to try and do. Acquire a power hitter. I mean, we hit a lot of home runs last year. I feel like we've kind of got that already. But anyway, increase the attendance even further. Bring in some drafted players. And we want to reach the World Series in the next 6 seasons. So that's all what we want to do. Now, the new budget, we have a team payroll of about $160 million. We'll have a look and see what that does to us in just a second in terms of what we have. He's extended our contract. Well, I mean, it was a bit of a no-brainer, wasn't it? So we've got a nice little pay rise there, $900,000 a year. There's some coaching staff that's leaving. No one that we weren't willing to get rid of. I've already gone through and checked all of that. The top prospects list, do we have anybody there? Not in the top 10. The off-season begins. Arbitration period begins. We'll go and have a look at that in just a second. New York has new ownership. The Mets, the Marlins have fired somebody, as have the Diamondbacks. All right, now let's go and have a look. First things first, and what the finances are like now. So we have $30 million for free agents. Now that could be useful. Then we have $20.5 million for extensions. Now if we're going to have a quick look at our free agents that are upcoming here, all players. We know that Polanco and Oberg we don't particularly care about. DeMarcus Evans is somebody that I don't really want to sign him to a major league deal. Does he have any option years left? He has 3 option years left. Maybe we do. We do go and look to do that. Walters, I'm willing to let leave because we have Jeffers to come in. I'll show you Jeffers again in just a second. There's nobody else there, though, that I'm particularly bothered about keeping. It's just DeMarcus Evans. He might be worth it. I'll have to have a think about that. Now, the reason that we're willing to let Walters go is that we have Jeffers coming through. He's had a year in AAA and he's really improved his defensive ability. So he's going to come into the major league team for next season to be the backup for Vazquez, which is fine. And the draft pick we do have coming through is Emerson Hancock. Now, he is somebody that played a little bit of AAA, well, 1 game in AAA last year, didn't really get it done for us. But I do think my sort of plan here is that him and Marquez can kind of share a spot in the starting rotation. He's not quite there, but he's almost there. I think spring training will be interesting, and we'll kind of see how he goes from there. But that is sort of the way I'm planning to plug the holes that we're leaving for ourselves there. Let's go and have a quick look at arbitration here. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. Jeff Hoffman, we haven't used him. I think, again, he's one of these guys that, despite his attributes looking okay, he's never really done it for us. So I don't think we're too concerned about keeping him, so we'll withdraw that. Lambert, now he's somebody that just almost is the opposite, and I think I keep underrating, and I mean, he was particularly good for us last year, WAR of 4.1. So we do want to keep him. We'll offer him 3.8. That's fine. Zantazella, I'm willing to give him another chance. That's Lambert again. He was not good for us last year, if we're honest, but the season before he was brilliant. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll look to keep him. Alcala, brilliant last season. Not too bad this year, to be fair. So we will look to keep him as well. Fernando Ramiro, again, he's been a relatively solid bullpen pitcher for us, so we'll look to keep him. That's fine. Framber Valdez was surprisingly good out of the bullpen for us last year, actually. ERA under 4, so we'll look to keep him as well. 1.3 is maybe a little bit more than I would ideally like, but we'll go with that. Blake Vyman is probably worth keeping. Brendan Rodgers is obviously worth keeping. Hampson is worth keeping, even if it is quite a pay rise. And Tapia, again, is probably worth keeping at $7 million. So that is all that. I'm a little bit concerned about Hampson, but I mean, he's just a useful player. He's a good base runner. and he bats over 300 for us last year. So yeah, I think we will look to keep him as well. So that's all of that. So I believe the next thing is going to be these Major League Baseball awards, so we'll come back for those. Alright, it is Major League Baseball awards time. We start with the Golden Gloves, and well, this is it for the American League. We can see all the winners there. There's obviously names we recognize. So let's have a look at the National League. This is what we care about, and there are no Golden Gloves for the Rockies, which is obviously a little bit of a shame. Alright, next up, it's Reliever of the Year. I'll tell you what, Tommy Doyle was brilliant this year. You never know. So on the American League side of things, it went to Blake Taylor of the Houston Astros, an English-American who is very, very decent as well. And let's have a look at the National League. It goes to Leclerc. Did we have anybody there? Tommy Doyle was in the conversation, so that's really good to see. He was brilliant for us this year. 35 saves, and he only came in sort of midway through the year to start closing for us. So he could be a very good one for next season for us, but it's Jose Leclerc that picks up the Reliever of the Year. Next up, it is the Silver Slugger Awards. Well, we hit like champions this year. Let's see how many we get. So these are the winners for the American League. We can see them all there, so we can have a quick look. And now, the top awards for us. Who do we get? How is Valdez not the catcher? So Evan White, we got one there for the first baseman. Who else do we get? Ryder Jones, rookie season, gets there for the third baseman, and well, that's it. So just the two, which surprises me a little, but it's going to be a first-time award one there for Evan White. What a star he is, defensive champion as well. And Ryder Jones, well, obviously it's his first real season in Major League Baseball, so obviously it's a first Silver Slugger for him as well. Absolutely brilliant. All right, next up, it is the Rookie of the Year. I think Ryder Jones has got to be a big, big shout. So the American League rookie goes to Gavin Sheets of the Detroit Tigers. This is him here, first baseman. He's no Evan White, is he? But not too bad. Now let's have a look at the National League. It went to DJ Peters, and maybe Ryder Jones can't qualify as a rookie. He did play 8 games, I think, for the Giants a few seasons back. So he can't be eligible. Let me know in the comments if he indeed isn't eligible. Let's go back to the Silver Sluggers. He did play in 2018. He had 8 at-bats. But that surely can't mean that he's not eligible for Rookie of the Year. How has he not won that, honestly? That's a crime. But the fact that he wasn't even in the top few there, it means that he has to have not been eligible. Otherwise, there's something going on there. Anyway, next up, it's Manager of the Year. Crab's got to be a chance, but you think it's got to go to the Braves or the Dodgers. So the Astros manager wins it for the American League, and it is the New York Mets manager. Well, that's a surprising outcome. The Mets, they did win their division, but if that's what it comes down to, then surely either ourselves or the Dodgers have got to have got that. I think Crab's been a little bit unlucky there, to be honest. But anyway, is what it is. Next up, it's Cy Young Award winner. I don't think it's going to be any of our guys. Robbie Ray's the only real chance, isn't he? So it is Chris Sale that wins it for the Boston Red Sox. And it is Noah Syndergaard that wins it for the Mets. With DeGrom in second. How good was the Mets pitching staff this season? Did we have anybody? No. And that probably tells the story, doesn't it? The Mets had a third guy there in Peterson as well. How many is that now for Syndergaard? First Cy Young Award for him. So there we go. Next up, it is Most Valuable Player. It's going to go to Bellinger or Lux, isn't it? So it's Torres that wins it for the Yankees in the American League. And if we go and have a look, it is Bellinger. Second was Lux. David Dahl was third, so well done to him. Brendan Rodgers was up there, as was Evan White and Ryder Jones as well. So to have 4 guys, in the conversation is not too bad. But I think it maybe just tells the story, doesn't it? Bellinger and Lux for the Dodgers are, they're both annoyingly good and annoyingly young as well, aren't they? So that is that. Well, next up it's going to be arbitration and free agency. So we'll come back for that. Okay, arbitration hearings. Let's have a look and see how we did here. Now, Brendan Rodgers has been $10 million. We offered him 8.8, so it's not too big of a difference. And to be honest, he's worth it anyway, but it's a bit of a shame. Valdez, So they got a little bit more than what we offered, but that's, again, not too bad. Tapia got 7, which is what we offered. Hampson got 4.2, which is what we offered, so that's okay. Zantazella got the 2.8 that we offered him. Ramiro got the 800 grand that we offered him. Lambert got a little bit more than what we offered him, but that, again, is okay because he has been fairly reliable. Alcala got what we offered him, and Vyman got, again, what we offered him. So that is that. Now let's go and have a look and see where that leaves us in terms of a budget. And we have 24 million for free agents. We need to try and get a massively good starter in if we can help it. Yeah, well, we'll come back and see what that is. Maybe there'll be like an international free agent that's going to be a star. All right, so here we go. Free agents have been filed. Now, I did have a quick look here at the the international ones. This is the only guy that's really anything. He's already 30. He has a good range of pitches. He might be worth keeping, and I might shortlist him. Keep an eye on him, but I have a feeling we might need to be able to do a little bit better. He's an unknown quantity, isn't he? So I don't know if we want to go for that. The major league options here, we can see there's one starting pitcher there, a 35-year-old, and I don't know that that's the sort of star that we're looking to get in, is it? I mean, again, a good range of pitches, but lacks the movement. Let's go and have a look at the free agents. All right, now the one that stands out here massively is Jacob deGrom. Now, that would be a nice little addition to the team, wouldn't it? Second in the Cy Young, of course, 34. Now, the question is, what's he going to want? 37 for 6 years, which takes him to the age of 40. Now, it's more than we can offer in any case. I mean, deGrom would be a nice little addition, though, wouldn't he? That is a lot of money, though, isn't it? Now, there's one guy here that I had a look at, Barrios. He wants 25 million, which is in our budget. ERA of 4. Now, these are fly ball pitcher, which may not work at our home ground, mightn't it? So that maybe doesn't quite work. I tell you what, deGrom is just very, very tempting, isn't he? And it's really the only position that we need to look at is just that starting pitcher. Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting. Scott Oberg only wants 3.8 now. Maybe we're getting back for that. It's going to be an interesting period now, isn't it, as we try and build up this starting rotation for us. Guys, I'll be back with something. Will it be deGrom? I mean, not at 37 million, but we'll see what we can do. We have breaking news out of the Colorado Rockies this evening as the club announced the signing of 5-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young Award winner Jacob deGrom on a 6-year, $197 million deal. Now, GM Aussie Villain is addressing the press right now, so let's go join in live. Yeah, look, I mean, are we going to regret paying a 40-year-old $32 million a year? Almost certainly, to be honest. But I'll tell you one thing, this is a statement signing, and they are shitting themselves in LA today, absolutely crapping their pants, and that makes this signing worth every single cent. So there we go, Jacob deGrom is officially a Colorado Rocky. Now, $32.8 million a year. It's a 6-year deal for a 34-year-old. Are we going to regret this in a few years' time? Almost certainly yes. But in the meantime, we're going to have a great deal of fun. He's not the worst hitter going around either, which is something that could be a little bit of a bonus to us. Now, he does have an option in the final year. But to be honest, I'm just really, really happy. I mean, he has option years left, so if we keep those up our sleeves, we can always just send him down and have it be a bit of a... Well, he probably can reject it. But anyway, let's not worry about what we're going to regret in a few seasons' time. Let's just enjoy what we have for now. And I tell you what, if you start looking at this pitching rotation for next season, deGrom, Ray, Marquez, if he's ever fit, Lambert and Kawhi as just sort of a first sort of draft, I guess. it's not looking too bad, is it? So, yeah, I mean, big ifs, big ifs. I mean, I'm just waiting now for the DeGrom career-ending injury because that's just sort of the luck that we seem to have. But if we can get DeGrom, obviously, to stay fit, Robbie Ray has another season like he's been having, and if we can, get the miracle out of Marquez, he doesn't lose too much ability and he stays fit, I tell you what, that is a power top three in the rotation. Lambert's solid, and Kawhi, amongst others, is a good solid pitcher in there as well. So potentially, we might have put the final piece of the puzzle together. But time will tell on that one. But yeah, Jacob deGrom is officially at the Rockies. Okay, it is Rule 5 draft time, and we're not going to partake. There's no one particularly of interest, and the players that are at the top are actually two of ours. Now, I'm going to take a risk here. Neither of them have done spectacularly in AAA, even though they're both youngish and decent. Yeah, they haven't set the world on fire in AAA, so we're going to risk it. But there's no one there that's particularly of interest to us personally, so we won't take part in the draft this year. We will just, we'll skip ahead. We will, I've got to continue draft. How do we skip? Here we go. So we'll just auto-complete the draft. And we'll see if we lose anybody. And yeah, it looks like, okay, so we did lose Ryan Feltner. He is a decent-ish starter. He's gone to the Washington Nationals. So we'll keep an eye on him. Obviously, he has to be in their active roster this year. And if not, then we'll get him back. But we'll see how he gets on. Like I say, I think we have better options. So I'm not too concerned of the fact that he has left us. All right, quick update for the Hall of Fame voting. No one this year was inducted. A few players have dropped off. Jeff Kent after his 10th year. And if we go down the bottom here, a couple of others. Andrew Jones, and then some first years in Andrew Dickey. Javier Baez, a third year. Matt Cain, Arrero, Ellsbury, never heard of him. Usually I've at least heard of these guys. Street, Blanton, and Jason Worth have all dropped off after in their first season. And one little bit of news, maybe for the future here, if we go down and have a look at our scouting discovery here, Alfred Sorstio, we'll go with. There might be something here. He's sort of a utility player. There might be something there, so we'll see how he gets on. Only 16, so a lot of time to develop, but yeah, we might maybe got one there. Okay, so we are now at spring training, which brings us to the end of the episode. Now, it's not going to surprise you having signed DeGrom. Yeah, we don't really have money left to do anything else. I really hope this works out, because otherwise we've completely hamstrung ourselves for the foreseeable future. But there's no reason to think that it won't work out. If we need to, we can take some money out of scouting and player development. But I want to really try and make sure we can find some good players if we at all can. Now, obviously, there's going to be some players in for spring training, but this right now is how I see us lining up. So the pitching rotation, obviously, DeGrom comes in. He's the number one man now. He's the big boy in town. So he's going to be the number one guy. Robbie Ray will drop into the number 2 slot, which is absolutely fine. Number 3 slot will be Marquez when he's back fit, assuming he ever is back fit. But obviously, we can't rely on that. So for now, I think Lambert slots into the number 3 place. And like I say, he's been just consistently decent for us. So hopefully that will continue. I think Jackson Kawhi has earned himself a spot in the starting rotation. And I mean, obviously we don't want him starting wildcard games, but that was kind of a circumstance thing. And I think Santa Zella will get the number 5 spot for now. He was average last year, but he was good the year before that. So like I said earlier on, we'll kind of give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to be a decent player for us. The closer this year is Tommy Doyle. He was brilliant last year, so he's going to get the full season to prove himself in that role this year, all things being equal. The setup guys will be Jacob Patterson, who was solid last year. He's been solid for 2 years now for us, so he keeps that job. And Ramiro, who again was solid, he keeps that job. But we could see a change with Ramiro dropping maybe out because Junior Fernandez is back now. Now we know that, we can see that he's potentially very good. Hasn't quite shown that yet. But if he can stay fit, that he could be someone that sort of moves up a little bit. Ty Tice, we will give another chance to. He was not great last year, but he was superb the year before that. So, yeah, he gets another chance. Edwin Kalina was sort of an emergency starter for us last year. I think he'll be a bullpen guy this year at least, and we'll kind of see how he goes from there. So that's Kalina. Where did we leave off? So that brings us to Fletcher, who was very, very good last year. So, we'll leave him in a left-handed option as well, which is never a bad thing to have. And then we come down to the long relievers, Alcala, who was decent-ish last season, even though he had a negative WAR. We'll give him another chance. And Frumba Valdez, who was brilliant as a bullpen pitcher for us last year, so he will keep his spot in the team as well. And of course, that brings us now to the starting 11. Now, I think our leadoff man this season, we're going to have a little bit of a rethink. I think the leadoff man is going to be Rodgers. He will play second base as well. I think we'll move David Dahl up to number 2 in the order. He will play in left field. Up in the order to number 3 will be Evan White. He was absolutely brilliant last year, so we're going to give him a chance. Moving up the order, the cleanup man will be Sergio. He wasn't in the team for long last season, but still managed to hit 21 home runs. So I think he could be the power guy of the team. That's a little bit more of a consistent hitter as well. So he'll play in right field and be the cleanup guy. We'll leave Ryder Jones at third base and batting 5. There's no reason to change that. It worked for us last year, so we'll keep faith with that. Number 6 hitter will be Baez. The reason we're dropping him down is, yes, he hits a lot of home runs and got a lot of RBIs, but his batting average wasn't great. We might even drop him further down the order. Somebody that's, that can hit home runs, obviously, get the RBIs, but I think maybe there's, the first guys there have such good averages that if we can get a power hitter, which I'm hoping Sergio will be, that's a little bit more consistent, that we might see a better impact of that. Now, the reason we've got to really have a right-hander batting there, because otherwise, if we have another lefty, it's going to be a little bit too many. So Jackie Bradley, a lefty, he will play in center field and bat at number 7 for us. Is that where we're at? And then obviously Christian Vazquez, he's here on kind of big money, but again, a good defensive catcher. He'll bat 8, and then obviously the pitching slot will be there at 9. So that's how I see things going. Let me know what you think in the comments. We needed to get another starter in. We needed to get a star, someone that could pitch a wild card game for us. We've got that now. If he stays fit, we'll just hope that he stays fit. And we get 6 years out of him, or even 5 years, because he has that player option for the last one. I think it's going to be okay. If we go and have a look at Meet the Team, this isn't what I wanted, but we've got to look at that. We've got really, really good pitchers now. I actually wanted to go to team chemistry. We can see we've got a captain in Vazquez. We've got leaders in Tice, in Fletcher, DeGrom, Velarde. Walker will drop back into AAA, and Fernandez is going to be a AAA player as well. So generally speaking, we look quite good. I think we'll see how spring training gets on. There's obviously still the option to make trades, but I don't really... we won 105 games last year. There wasn't too much wrong with us. And I think what was wrong with us, we've hopefully gone and fixed that. So if you've enjoyed this, guys, hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We've got Hancock as well coming through, who might get a look in this year in the starting rotation as well. Anyway, if you've enjoyed that, hit thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time for opening day, and that will be against, we go to the LA Dodgers on opening day. They'll get a nice early look at DeGrom. Take care.